With 65 novels, over 200 short stories, and 19 screenplays, Stephen King has proved that he is a master of horror and suspense. His writing career started with his debut novel Carrie in 1974, and since then, he has been terrorizing his readers with new monsters, supernatural entities, and horrifying scenarios. Aptly titled The King of Horror, Stephen King's influence over modern pop culture is immense and unavoidable. From classic horror movies and books like The Shining, It, Pet Sematary, to captivating works in other genres like Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, and Mr. Mercedes, he is arguably the most influential author in the contemporary world. All of King's stories are set in a multiverse that ardent fans of his have titled the Macroverse. What is the Macroverse? How do favorites like It and Carrie fit into it? Let's try to answer all of those questions in today's fantastic video. Before we continue, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Marvelous Videos so that you never miss the amazing stuff we put up here. Now, without much further ado, let's get started. The origins of the Macroverse. Unfortunately, there isn't a short story or novella that explains King's Macroverse, and it is completely up to the readers to figure out where and how everything fits into it. So unless you have gone through every single word written by the prolific writer, it's not really a cakewalk. But if you are new to Stephen King's universe and want to start reading, don't worry, we'll lay out the universe for you so you can ease into it with no difficulty. Stephen King's The Dark Tower series was started in 1982 with the novel Gunslinger, and has a total of 8 novels, a children's book, and a novella. This series has a lot of information and is the primary clue in figuring out the Macroverse. According to the books, everything rose from a primordial being called Prim, a limitless void and chaos from whom everything emerges. Gan, a godlike being, emerged from the waters of the Prim, and 6 beams emerged from his navel. These beams are immensely powerful and huge, and they hold up the Dark Tower, which is the center of all creation. The Dark Tower holds in place the All-World, all the infinite universes and alternate universes that Gan creates. Gan is mentioned in the 2004 novel Song of Susanna, Reproduction, the 6th installment in the Dark Tower series. In the last novel of the Dark Tower series, which is also confusingly called The Dark Tower, the protagonist Roland Deschain theorizes that the Dark Tower might be the physical manifestation of Gan himself, who, by all definitions of the word, is clearly a god in this universe. You can see the Dark Tower in the All-World, and the 6 beams of the tower are guarded by 12 guardians. The guardians are rat, wolf, turtle, fish, bat, hare, bear, horse, lion, dog, eagle, and elephant. The turtle guardian is named Maturin. Maturin is the world turtle who guards one of the beams with Shardik the bear. Maturin was introduced into King's universe in the It novel, and also made an appearance in Wizard and Glass Regard, the 1997 novel, which was the 4th book in the series. Maturin was a guardian who was kind, benevolent, sympathetic, and wise. One day, Maturin had a terrible stomach ache which did not subside till he threw up. What Maturin vomited out was the mainstream universe where all of King's stories take place. A void surrounds this universe, and that is what we call the Macroverse. The todash space. As we said before, Stephen King does not make it easy for us readers to figure out the universe, and because of this, there are a lot of conflicting theories by readers. One compelling theory is that the Macroverse is Prim itself, and that everything arose from the Prim. Another theory is that the Macroverse exists in the todash space. Todash is a place that people travel through when they are moving from one universe to another. To go todash in the Dark Tower series means to travel quickly between universes. This is a very dangerous mode of transport, as there is a high chance of the traveler getting stuck in the todash space. Now you might be wondering what this todash space is, since we mentioned it twice. Todash space, which is also called the todash darkness, is a space between universes. If a traveler does not make it to their reality, they end up in this dark space. The space is the birthplace of nearly all of Stephen King's monsters, and they roam around, waiting for irresponsible travelers to feast on. The only way out of a todash space is through a place where reality has eroded away. This has been named a thinny. Many people have equated todash space with the Macroverse, while many believe that the Macroverse exists beside the todash space, and since todash space is just the space between universes, it is in contact with the Macroverse. We'll leave it up to your imagination to decide where exactly the Macroverse and todash space are. The hints from Pennywise. We learn more about the Macroverse in It, King's 1986 horror novel, which has now been adapted twice into visual media, with Tim Curry and Bill Skarsgård taking on the clown mantle to portray the titular antagonist, Pennywise. If you have not read It or have forgotten what happens in the movies, we'll sum it up for you real quick. The story is set in Derry, Maine, where an alien monster with shape-shifting powers resides. The monster wakes up every 27 years, feeds for an entire year, and then goes back to sleep. While hunting, the monster usually takes the form of Pennywise, the dancing clown. In the late 1950s, or 1988 if you prefer the 2017 version, the monster eats Georgie, a kid whose older brother is Bill Denbrough. Bill rounds up his friends: Annie Casbrack, Beverly Marsh, Ben Hascom, Richie Tozier, Mike Hanlon, and Stanley Uris, who have all had terrifying experience with Pennywise, and they form the Losers Club. They vow to meet during the next attack of Pennywise and hunt him down. The Losers Club was successful in their quest, but their journey taught us a lot about the monster and where it came from. Pennywise claims that his real name is Robert Bob Gray, but for some reason decided to be known as It. Such a normal name for this supernatural creature is jarring, but there are chances that the monster named itself. For the sake of not getting confused, let's just call it Pennywise. Pennywise is billions of years old, and its true form is not even comprehensible to the human mind. It comes from a tribe of aliens called glamours, whose main source of sustenance is fear. However, the true essence of Pennywise's being is deadlights, an eldritch form of energy that came from the Macroverse, Pennywise's place of origin. Deadlights look like a swirling, radiant light with an orange hue. Deadlights were used by the Crimson King, who wielded it like magic in the Dark Tower series. The deadlights are so incredibly powerful that even looking at them will drive people insane. Many think Pennywise's place of origin is the todash space, as that is where all monsters come from. To add on to that, it also mentions a cosmic rivalry between the creature and Maturin. Pennywise calls Maturin lazy, old, and stupid. According to his description, Maturin rarely comes out of his shell, and the last time he came out, he threw up the universe and shrunk back into the comforts of his shell. If Maturin was truly as lazy and stupid as Pennywise mentioned him to be, Pennywise should have been able to destroy him, and the internal conflict would have subsided within moments. Thus, it is possible that Pennywise and Maturin are equally matched in strength and power. One of the key things that the movies left out from the novels is Maturin's role in the destruction of Pennywise. Bill begs and pleads for Maturin to step in to help them and take care of the creepy clown. But Maturin does not agree to help them, telling Bill that he cannot interfere in these matters. Maturin also calls Pennywise his brother, and when his antics seem to keep getting worse, Maturin leads the Losers Club to the ritual of Chud, which helps them deal with it for once and for all. Pennywise also mentions that there is someone called the Other in the Macroverse. The Other is a being far more powerful than Pennywise or Maturin, and he is not affected by their quarrel. The Other here, according to theories, can be any one of three things. One is Gan, as he is perhaps the only other cosmic being more powerful than Pennywise. Two is the Dark Tower, which, as we previously saw, is the linchpin of all creation and perhaps is an embodiment of Gan. And the final, most terrifying option is that the Other is a terrifying monster of the todash space that is waiting for its opportunity to wreak havoc on Earth. The creatures of the Macroverse. Thanks to Pennywise and his big mouth, both literally and figuratively, we got to know about the creatures that are confirmed to exist in the Macroverse. The Other, Maturin, and himself. Now, if the speculations that the Macroverse and todash space are one and the same are to be believed, there are more monsters in the Macroverse. Stephen King's science fiction and psychological horror novella, The Mist, which was published in 1980, is about an alien invasion. The plot follows a super-secret government experiment known as the Arrowhead Project, where a lot of scientists work together to breach and gain access to different dimensions. The experiment goes horribly wrong, and creatures from a new, unknown realm begin invading Earth, starting with a small town of Bridgeton, Maine. A thick mist was released to help the creatures hunt, and they used their scent to trap their prey. Some key monstrous creatures that arrived are Arachnolobster, a 50-foot-tall creature that resembles a lobster, Pterobuzzard, winged creatures that hunt at night and look like pterosaurs, Grey Widowers, dog-sized predators that are identical to spiders, and Terrorpede, a gigantic centipede. Constant readers of Stephen King have noticed similarities in the descriptions of these creatures' real and the todash space. So, theories say that the Arrowhead Project actually created a Finney and led to the invasion. Marvelous verdict. Macroverse, like our universe, is constantly expanding, and with each of King's novels, we will hopefully learn more. Do you think todash space and Macroverse are the same? What about the other? Is that just another name for Gan? Do you think the creatures of the mist are from the Macroverse? Tell us all and every one of your theories in the comments below. Don't leave out any details.